Hello everyone and welcome to Strategic Mind the Pacific. Game that left early access a couple of days ago. It's a World War II strategy game, same makers of the Panzer strategy game. This is a follow-up game dealing, of course, with the war in the Pacific. And the game makers decided to improve a bit upon their old game. There are some new things here, some old things that remain the same. I'll be going over all of that stuff while we get into it. Just like previous LP, which is also found on my channel, I'll be looking to provide you with the necessary strategy and insights to, get all the objectives, things like that, get that golden victory that you want for yourself as well. Let's just get started. I want to start off with the Japanese campaign here because I always like myself a little bit of ahistorical content. Let's just see where this game takes us while we play as the Japanese. I might also play the American campaign afterwards, depends on how much time there is. That's always a factor with games like this. There's Unity of Command 2 coming out pretty soon, Panzer Corps 2 coming out pretty soon, some other games that I want to cover as well. But for now, I think focusing on the Japanese campaign of this game will be great, and this will be my main LP for the upcoming few weeks at the very least. Probably together with Unity of Command 2 once it comes out, if it does come out in November as well. So it's kind of going to be a co-thing. For anybody who's thinking, oh wow, this guy sounds really, really weird right now. Yes, I'm recovering from a bit of a cold. Not 100% back there yet, but didn't want to wait too long with starting up this campaign. Missing out on whatever hype there is. I don't know really. I don't follow that kind of stuff that much, but I like playing these kind of games. Let's just get started. I hope the sound settings are okay. There was a bit of a problem with Panzer strategy before, especially with the naval combat, because the sound of the guns firing was usually really loud, and I had to edit a lot in order to get that lower, and this is mainly naval battles, so that's probably going to be a thing. Either way, let's start up a new game.
Treacherous and unexpected Japanese attack.
Since time immemorial, the Japanese were renowned warriors, stalwart, honorable, and bound by duty. However, the 20th century came, and proud descendants of Yamato State found themselves overshadowed by the world's superpowers, the United States and the British Empire. Striving to become their equal, the Empire of Japan began to amass military strength and quickly ran into a dire shortage of resources. It led to conquering the territories of China and Indochina. The United States and its allies were quick to react, condemning Japan as a warmonger and putting an embargo on all strategic resources imported by Japan. Hull's note was soon to follow, putting an ultimatum to the Japanese government. Leave all newly conquered territories or suffocate due to a trade embargo. You, as Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the Commander-in-Chief of the Combined Fleet, have to carry out the Emperor's order and wage war against the United States and its allies in the Pacific Ocean. You understand that this is an insurmountable undertaking, as the enemy economic power is tenfold and its numeric advantage on the sea is too overwhelming. Yet none of it is a valid reason to forego your duty before His Majesty the Emperor and your country. Bound by honor, you come up with a desperate plan of how to equalize the forces.
And desperate that plan is. Well, for those of you who remember the Panzer strategy game, the cutscenes are back, the main feature of this game. Really, really excited to get into this cringe once again. Look, I know that it's not really great, but that's just, I understand that they don't have the time and energy to really make these cutscenes very well. They don't have the voice actors and things like that. I believe these guys are like an indie studio in Russia, I think. But for me, the cutscenes have a very high humoristic value. I think they're absolutely hilarious. Even though I think they're kind of serious, I don't really know what their take is on that. It's just I have to laugh pretty hard usually when I see these. So just don't when you play this game, don't take that too seriously. That's just the first thing that I'm gonna say. Don't get turned off by the quality of the cutscenes, because I personally just see them as a humoristic content. Let's just get started. I'm just warning you in advance here. Yeah, so difficulty selection. I'm just going to play on challenging. That seems to be the default difficulty selection, medium difficulty selection. I could go for insurmountable, which is higher, which has enemy strength at 120, but I don't really think that's necessary. This game is difficult enough as it is, actually. Even with the Panzer strategy game playing on the regular difficulty, I had some trouble, mostly because of the way this game is designed, but I'll go over that after this here beautiful cutscene. What are you guys firing at?
Admiral Yamamoto, reporting the results of the exercises. All targets were hit. During the past few months, our pilots have improved the effectiveness of their torpedo attacks significantly.
Good. I will personally express our gratitude for their distinguished service.
Fighter pilots are asking for permission to use aerobatics during training flights and military exercises. Previously, we have forbidden such training due to a high mortality rate among pilots.
Permission granted. If the war breaks out and our pilots are ill-prepared, we will have many more deaths. They should train rigorously.
Yes, sir.
My, how beautiful the blossoming Sakura is. Do you not think so, Yamamoto?
No.
It has already started to blossom while our Navy is still resisting any decisive actions against the United States.
The Sakura blossom is magnificent indeed, but soon its flowers will fall. Would not the whole of Japan fall as well if we enter the hopeless war against the United States and Great Britain, Army Minister Tojo?
The Army is sworn to protect the Emperor, but without fuel we cannot perform our duty. Thus, we need to occupy Indochina and utilize its oil production.
That action will only worsen the situation. I am afraid, as of now, 80% of our fuel is imported from the U.S. If we invade Indochina, we will get a powerful enemy and still be left without fuel.
So what? Do we have to keep dancing to the Yankees' tune? Absolutely not! We cannot wait for their wretched pittance. We must take what is necessary to protect our Emperor and our homeland without paying attention to anyone else.
The Navy as a whole and myself personally stand firmly against the war with the United States. They will immediately be joined by Great Britain and the Netherlands. Their combined forces are too powerful.
Our samurai spirit and faith in the Emperor will help us overcome any foe.
I see it as a not well considered childishness. Only the personal command of the Emperor, whom I faithfully serve, will make me lead the Navy against the United States.
That's what it takes. Only to protect the Emperor, of course. That's all we're trying to do here.
Japanese troops invaded southern French Indochina on July the 28th, 1941. In response, the U.S. government imposed trade sanctions on Japan,
And
including the freezing of Japanese assets in the United States and an embargo of oil exports to Japan.
unbelievable.
The whole note. It is preposterous. How many more insults do we have to endure? The Yankees want to keep us on a leash, put us in a doghouse, only to be fed their leftovers.
Filthy Yankees.
This is equal to a declaration of war.
You have become a prime minister, General Tojo, but have not become more prudent. Did you really expect the United States to ignore our occupation of Indochina?
Yeah.
A wise man will always find a way to avoid...
Admiral Yamamoto, can you not finally understand? If we succumb to the United States without a fight, we will surely become just one more state in the United States, and the Japanese nation will be lost forever.
They're trying to annex
Whereas,
us?
if we accept the fight, uneven as it may be, then even if we lose, our descendants will be able to revive Japan and keep on living while holding their heads high.
Oh, of course.
It is
Yeah.
not you who will be dying, General Tojo. It is Japanese youth.
If necessary, I am more than ready to give my own life for the Emperor, our country, and its future.
No, I don't think
And
so.
who gave you the right to decide for the whole of Japan?
His Majesty the Emperor has decreed that we develop and execute an attack against the United States fleet in order to protect our interests in the Pacific Ocean.
I will comply with the Emperor's will.
Good.
I expect that we will officially declare war on the U.S. right before the beginning of our attack. We must not dishonor our country in the whole world's eyes.
I think you have a point, Admiral. I will make sure to warn our diplomats.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
Admiral Yamamoto, the Navy headquarters have devised a plan of attack on Pearl Harbor according to your instructions. Our first air fleet will annihilate the U.S. Pacific Fleet with one decisive blow.
I consider it my duty to remind you that I always consider this fancy plan of yours an unjustified gamble. We must proceed with time-tested methods, not some fantasies.
Time-tested methods are great if the opponents have equal strength. We, on the other hand, have to make a miracle for Japan to come out victorious after
worry.
this war.
Sure you
Aye,
can.
Admiral.
Ogaki, please provide our diplomats with the exact timing of the upcoming attack. They have to make public our declaration of war before we begin the attack.
Consider it done.
Tomorrow I have to leave Tokyo together with my fleet. I cannot say where we are headed, but I won't be back for quite a while. I'm afraid that food shortages will soon begin all over Japan. With this, you will not starve.
Yamamoto-san is too kind to me. I will miss you so much. Please, write to me as often as you can. Your letters are always so wonderful.
I definitely will. You too should not forget your good old Yamamoto.
And give me more money. That's big.
From Prime
Yeah.
Minister Tojo to Admiral Yamamoto. The die is cast. The great Japanese nation is going to war to protect its sovereign land and legitimate interests from this insidious enemy's assault.
Okay.
Japan has never confronted such a powerful and dangerous adversary as the USA. However, with the help of the gods, we'll carry out our plan. The samurai spirit and willingness to sacrifice will lead us to victory. The Emperor has entrusted you, Admiral Yamamoto, with the combined fleet, as you are the most dignified and skillful naval commander. The fleet is facing the task of great importance, and the fate of the nation depends on your command. Now you must deal a sudden, devastating blow to the enemy, which they will not be able to recover from. I order you to start the operation with full confidence in the power of the Imperial fleet and in the blessings of ancient spirits on your noble mission.
Yeah.
Glory to the Emperor!
Admiral Chuichi Nagumo, commander of the task force speaking. We are now within striking distance from Pearl Harbor. No activity of the American fleet is detected. I request to clarify the tactical situation and location of the targets utilizing the latest intelligence.
Great, Admiral Nagumo. Now my Chief of Staff, Admiral Matome Ugaki, will provide you with relevant data.
According to the provisionally adopted plan, we must defeat the forces of the U.S. Pacific Fleet, concentrated in Pearl Harbor, with a sudden and powerful blow from our carrier-based aircraft. At the same time as the airstrike, our submarines should secretly enter the harbor and torpedo the enemy ships. Unfortunately, both U.S. Pacific Fleet carriers left Pearl Harbor a few days ago. Their current location is unknown.
Oh.
However, according to the intelligence reports, the 8 battleships that constitute the U.S. fleet's essential strength are compactly concentrated in the eastern part of the harbor. In order to weaken the enemy's forces enough, we must sink at least 4 of them. Although, it would be preferable to have all of them destroyed. Also, it is crucial to neutralize American aviation. It is an easy target now, as it is concentrated at the airfields. I suggest you bomb them before the majority of the enemy planes can get airborne. Besides ships and planes, the infrastructure must become our next goals. The enemy's northern, central, and southern oil storage facilities, the shipyard, and the power plant in Pearl City. I would like to stress again that Pearl Harbor must be struck suddenly and severely. We should not give the enemy a chance to recover and organize effective defense. There are radar systems in the north of Oahu. With the help of those, the enemy can see our forces from a distance. This has to be considered during the operation. That's all.
Well then, I command to start the attack. And may our ancestor spirits be with us.
Indeed, so 15 minutes in, finally we have command, and after that beautiful cutscenes, we can get started. So, for this first mission, we
have more guns than the entire enemy fleet.
Get our units here, and we have to strike towards Pearl Harbor. Let me just go and change the settings a bit first, though. And first of all, lower that music volume a little bit. So, for those of you who have played Panzer Strategy before, you guys know that usually, well, for this game, or these developers, they made these scenarios in such a way that you have to do everything in a very specific order in order to succeed very well, and this order kind of works for most missions, but you do have to keep in mind to follow up on this at all times, basically, otherwise you're gonna be screwed. Either way, we'll find out the game's mechanics as we go along. Don't want to start off with a 5-hour tutorial on this game. If you want to know the basics, I'm sure there's someone who's going to play the tutorial of this game and is going to show that off if you want to learn about that. We're just here to bomb Pearl Harbor. So, as for Pearl Harbor, we can see here that the amount of command points it will get is 17 per turn. That means that we can do a lot with those command points. Unfortunately,
the forces are comprised of both core and non-core units.
Right, I'm just gonna turn that off actually. So that's another thing. Game setting interactive hints will be disabled. Okay. We
We're
can
the heart of the Imperial Navy.
do a lot of
no matter what the battleships say.
aviation recon. Prestige, we have 500 at the moment. This is used to purchase stuff. This number is the amount of aircraft we can deploy at maximum, depending on the amount of carriers that we have. New to this game is the victory progress bar. And victory is determined by the amount of enemies you kill and certain bonus objectives. Controlling all flags on the map. We cannot get any of the flags on this map, unfortunately, so we already have this ticked. We have to clear all enemies, get all secondary objectives. If we have too many losses, we'll get a penalty, and if we're too slow, we'll also get a penalty. As for prestige, we get a certain amount of prestige per mission. There's like an amount of prestige you get for finishing it, a bonus that you might get, just like Panzer Strategy, and some other stuff. So there's a certain amount of prestige you get at the end of every mission. You might get none, I think, just like in the previous one if you do poorly. Then you also can see here the statistics for kills and losses and things like that per mission as well. So that's there. In order to get the best kind of victory, we need to get 400 victory points. We currently have 175, and we get those victory points by completing all the objectives. For Pearl Harbor, the enemy anti-aircraft guns have been turned off for the first couple of turns to kind of simulate the effect that the Americans were unaware that we are coming, because of course our diplomats haven't done a good job. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to focus on the anti-aircraft guns. That's my first priority, because after a few turns they will be the first to turn on and fight back. Secondly, I want to focus on the airfields, because after a few more turns after the anti-aircraft guns have been turned on, their aircraft will start taking off if there are any left. Once you've taken down both the anti-aircraft and the airfields, the rest is pretty much just easy pickings. I'm aiming to pretty much do a map wipe of this map in order to get the maximum amount of victory that we can get. So let's just get started. First of all,
the fleet.
These are the destroyers. I'm going to use this destroyer also to determine the amount of sound or how loud their cannons are. So destroyers, the way these guns work, you can check out the stats here. For example, this 127mm has a gun range of 4, it has torpedoes, anti-aircraft, and depth charges. It also has a new emergency repair function, which I'm gonna talk over once I use it, and the sonar, which is also something from the previous game. I'm gonna try and destroy this here radar, because these guys going down does not allow me to attack the airfield. So I'm just gonna go here.
Carefully.
Our American friends have panicked. We are intercepting their messages. SOS. We have been attacked by the Japanese. Japanese aircraft have reached Oahu. And this is real. This is a Japanese attack.
Looks like those Japanese have ruined the Americans' day off.
Yeah, and we destroyed the first of the 2 radars that they have there. That's fine. Let's get the other one, which we can move down, so I guess I will. I'll start attacking that airfield. There's nothing else.
We bring the storm.
Seems. But I'm gonna use
Verifying the enemy's location.
Aviation Recon. Doesn't seem to be any anti-aircraft out there.
I'm in position.
So I'm just gonna move as close as
Moving
possible
carefully.
and attack their airfield. new to this game is that you can see how many air units are on these airfields, indicated by these dots on the right of the strength number. So there are actually 3 airplanes on this airfield, and we can take them down by attacking the airfield itself. Alright, that's it for the destroyers. Then
We are the Seawolves!
I'm also going to change another setting. I hope that the speech volume is only in the game and that the video volume is for the cutscenes, that they don't turn those voices
We are the Seawolves!
softer as well. Either way, these guys will just go and move into Pearl Harbor. They can't be attacked by these coastal batteries, so I'm not too worried about that.
Underwater silence makes me mad. Oh? How'd you see us? Where are your eyes?
And they're just gonna go and move in there, look for the enemy battleships. So same here, want to do some aerial recon over this here area. And it seems like they have some anti-aircraft guns here and here. But they also have some coastal cannons, so we have to be a bit careful of that. First of all, I can move here safely and attack this anti-aircraft gun, so I will.
Yes, this one. Protectors of the fleet. Have a taste of our power.
Finish off their anti-aircraft gun. Like I said, that's going to be my top priority. So now that I've used everything except for my air units, I will. Let's just get the carrier closer first, because that way my airplanes have further reach, and select my bombers. Now, at the start of this mission, I know that the enemy will not have any air forces by itself. So I want to start out by equipping my Zeros with bombs in the equipment tab. This will give them more hard and soft attack and less air attacks, pretty much. So they're just tailored towards bombing. I am going to spend some of this here prestige to do that. Could give them drop tanks too, but I don't think that's necessary. Alright, now that they have the bombs, I actually want to go and destroy this here coastal gun, which might seem a bit odd, but I want my destroyers to be able to get in closer here. And that's actually, yeah.
Already there. Pay in blood. Already there.
And the Zeros can deal pretty decent amount of damage with the bomb, so it's not bad.
They don't stand a chance.
Okay, I'm not dealing the damage that I was hoping I would, but that's fine. So there's another anti-aircraft gun here. However, if I destroy this, I can use my destroyers to move in and attack this one as well. You can actually attack from this particular hex, so I kind of want to send in my navy and then attack it that way, so I don't have to focus my air forces on it. But I do need to destroy this coastal gun in order to do the job.
Those bombs are heavy.
This here dive bomber will not only get incendiary bombs from me. I'm gonna go for the cheaper one because we don't have that much prestige for now, and that gives me more soft attack. I don't actually want to give them armor piercing bombs. Incendiary bombs is fine. Either way, let's do some reconnaissance down here as well.
Of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say. Verifying the enemy's location.
Okay, 2 anti-aircraft. That's fine. Let's get our bomber and let's get some incendiary bombs. And let's target this one here. And then move down. Because they might be able to go and bomb down here as well. That will be prudent, I think. This is a torpedo bomber. And as for equipment, They currently only have the torpedo type 31-2. I can equip them with the 31-3, which gives them more or a lesser of a penalty for air attack, etc, etc. That's not really necessary for now, so I don't really want to waste the prestige. I'm just going to keep it as is. I'll turn off the torpedoes because I don't actually want to use the torpedoes right now, and attack this anti-aircraft gun, which almost got destroyed, but not quite. I'll have to finish it off later. So that's this anti-aircraft, which can actually also fire. It has a main / anti-aircraft gun, which also has gun range of 4, and it's also pretty neat in that regard. So you can interchangeably use it as an anti-aircraft gun or as a main gun.
All systems.
That's not bad.
I hope the sacred spirits will bestow their blessings on us.
Alright, let's... These are non-core units, but I can still give them equipment, which will be sold at the end of the battle. You can see that here non-core unit equipment will be automatically sold at the end of the operation. So I still want to give them incendiary bombs, even though they are a non-core unit. They'll just sell that stuff anyway. Let's select those and start firing upon this guy.
Here we come. Bow to the gifts of the Empire. Here we come.
Very good. Then we have 3 torpedo bombers here, which I will use not only to finish off this, but hopefully also to finish off this anti-aircraft gun.
A tactical bomber is here.
If the battleships are the muscle of the Imperial,
Like I said, I think this is the most important part of the start of the battle, so at least those anti-aircraft guns can fire up on us later on.
There better be targets.
And we'll deal with the battleships later.
we bring the storm. Firestorm.
These guys also won't be able to fire upon the airfields, but I'm gonna move them towards the airfields nonetheless, so they might be able to fire upon them at the earliest opportunity. Let's do some aviation recon over here as well, because those guys will try to...
Verify the enemy's location.
Okay, there is a anti-aircraft gun over here. So first of all, I want to get the dive bomber, give it the incendiary bombs, and use those.
Here we come. Those bombs are heavy. Is someone observing that area?
I think I probably need another dive bomber for that.
Firestorm. A new battle awaits.
So let's get this one too, and let's also give it the cheaper ones.
We're going to send them our generous gifts.
And that's another anti-aircraft gun down. As for the last recon, I'm gonna do that down here, revealing another anti-aircraft gun down here. Gonna see whether I can actually go after that one as well. There aren't any anti-aircraft guns here, it seems. I mean, I did check that.
You can't hide from the blast waves. Is someone observing the...
We will not let the Emperor down.
Can you reach that? Yes, you can. Okay, good. Didn't see that I had another bomber. Or another dive bomber, that is.
Things are going to explode. Approach.
Okay, great. So we only need one more. That's gonna be this dive bomber.
If you include aircraft.
We have reduced the enemy numbers.
Boom, another anti-aircraft gun down. And there is an anti-aircraft gun there too, which I will target with the remaining units.
Their days are numbered. Imperial Air Service.
Do not underestimate us.
There we are.
We're going to send them.
This episode is gonna be a little bit longer because of the extremely long cutscenes. I don't want to kind of just stop in at the start of the actual campaign here. So yeah, that's it. Afterwards, usually I just check all my units by pressing N to see if there's anything that I can still do. There is not, so I'm just gonna end the turn here. After that, the AI will get its turn. Seems like they have this here destroyer, which can go for anti-aircraft fire. And it damaged my dive bomber, which is unfortunate, but yeah, nothing we can do about that. Let's just continue here. Not only do I want to finish off this coastal gun here.
The enemy won't see us coming. No one escapes our fury. I've lost count of how many enemies have been killed.
We do know that they have that their anti-aircraft gun. I can get in a little bit closer, but not too much, unfortunately. So that's a bit of a shame. I also need to take down this anti-aircraft gun, which we can, I guess, in due time, but that's just the first thing that I wanted to do there. Let's see, though. So what am I going to do with these guys? Your range is this, and your range is this. So they're kind of indeed all along that there goes. This one... Yeah, I need to finish off all of these three in order to get to that thing and this. Well, like I said, the first thing that I want to deal with is anti-aircraft. And I still need to check down here whether they have some. Yes, they do. So this is their final anti-aircraft gun that they have, I think.
The enemy's gonna have a tough time. Approaching. Be careful with the bombs.
Let's just use 2 incendiary bombs.
Running away?
And apparently I need to use one of these guys as well.
Makes me feel more confident.
It's unfortunate.
Things are going to explode.
They introduced in this game the ability of forces to flee even at 0 strength. The mechanics work a little bit differently, where your units can get wounded or destroyed, and wounded units can be repaired regardless of whether they are destroyed or not. It's kind of like suppression, but it works a little bit differently. It's not such a big deal, but it is something to take note of. So the enemy does have this here destroyer, which is active, and I kind of need to go and take it down. But I want to deal with this region here first. Now, I did destroy this here radar, so I'm going to send these guys all the way down. Can't fire upon anything, unfortunately. These guys can, though. I can move them down and start attacking the airfield.
Imperial destroyer at your service.
We don't actually know how much we took down.
That area is under our control.
But
I hope the sacred spirits will bestow their blessings on us.
we'll be able to see once we have wiped out some enemy aircraft in the area whether it's destroyed or not. But that now that the anti-aircraft guns are gone, this destroyer and any airfields are going to be my priority. Now, one feature of the dive bombers is that they can use their bombs on specific parts of the enemy's
Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know.
of the enemy ship, which I will demonstrate here. So I went over, and you can see the combat data. I can click it here, and then I can choose which part of the ship I want to damage specifically. I'm gonna go after the anti-aircraft gun. Okay, well, that didn't do as much damage as I had hoped, because the anti-aircraft gun is still out there. The incendiary bombs also do deal double damage to any ship parts which are not the hull and the engine and such. Either way, I'm gonna target this thing again. Being pretty unlucky with these hits, but I'm always unlucky. Either way, now that the anti-aircraft gun is taken down, I can use just to go after this thing and basically just wail on it with any units that I have. This is destroyed. I'm looking to go after the main gun now as well, just to make sure that this thing, you know, it won't be able to do a whole lot anymore. I think I can probably already destroy it on this turn. How much damage am I gonna do? 0 and 4. It's not that big. I'd rather use my my dive bombers, but I've already used up all of them, it seems like. So at this point,
Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know. Be careful with the bombs.
yeah, that's not the best. How damaged are you? You still have depth charges as well. Deals 2 damage to the ship's part at the end of the turn and prevents aircraft from landing and taking off from the flight deck. So it will deal 6, but that's not enough. I definitely need
On our wings.
more damage.
Their days are numbered.
And I'm gonna dedicate 2 more ships.
Air service. Things are
Or
going
2 more
to
planes
explode.
to bomb that. Because together with the fires, it shouldn't be able to do anything at this point. It will take a lot of damage and then it will be destroyed. Alright, so now I'm going to focus upon the airfields with these guys.
We bring death on our wings.
Because those will become active next. So let's just turn this off.
Things are going to explode. Will there be fighters
Bomb
covering
that.
us? Be careful with the bombs. Things are going to explode.
Once the airfields on a certain airstrip are destroyed, I can just leave it alone. Okay, it needs 1 more bomb.
Those bombs are heavy.
I can do that.
Things are going to explode.
And you can see here, I've wiped out 3 aircraft right now.
We
So
bring
that's a
death
good
on
start.
our wings.
Okay, I kind of feel like I do have to go after that anti-aircraft gun right now. Because
What should be
it
destroyed
is
next?
just too much of a problem if it becomes active.
Let's lose some weight.
And I can't have it go after my planes. I think they do become active after this turn,
Poor souls.
which already do indicate a bit of a problem that I left it alive, and I don't think I have any other
All systems.
bombers left.
Do you require assistance?
No, we do have the submarines, which I will use.
Check for escort ships. Underwater silence makes me mad. Exploring the area. I miss the fresh air. Where are your eyes? Or our guardian emperor? Where are your eyes? Or our guardian emperor? Those bombs are quite dangerous, you know?
Are there new orders from our godly emperor?
Yeah, so I'll just move to the side a bit, and you know, I can attack the city and seaport. That doesn't really help me much, but it might give a little bit of experience.
Do you require assistance? We bring the storm. Firestorm. We surpass pathetic agents in effort.
We are ready to sink their ships. We bring
And
death
that's it for
on
this
our
turn.
wings.
They shouldn't be able to do anything, I think, with all the fires. No, it did not. Right? No, its depth charges were down, and I guess this just got repaired at the end, but that's about it. Okay. I do think the anti-aircraft gun is active now.
Those bombs are heavy.
Yes, it is. So that's a problem, like I said.
I'm in position.
I'll just start here.
Checking that sector. Our strength is in numbers of dead enemies.
We are the heart of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say.
And you can see that I've destroyed 6 aircraft now, so this one is terminated. I will focus on Bellows Field down here now. Let's see, because you kind of have to remember which ones you destroyed. I didn't destroy this one yet, but none of these guys can go after it at the moment. They just kind of have to move back, but because this thing is active, it's a bit of a problem. What I need to do is I need to use this here Overwatch Breakthrough together with the Afterburner. Afterburner gives my unit more move points and more defenses, and Overwatch Breakthrough will allow my unit to keep moving even after this guy uses Overwatch, which I kind of need because they changed Overwatch in such a way that it can use target as many times as you want. I suppose, but yeah, enemy attack cancels it out. Well, I still need to go after it. Yeah, my 0 didn't take any damage. Now, at the very least, the Overwatch is turned off. It still attacks anything within a range of 4, but at the very least, we did get rid of that. That does mean that, yeah, I'll probably still take 1 damage here. I don't have any incendiary bombs left. There's also just 2.
Are quite dangerous, you know. Who do you want me to kill?
Yeah, I'll just use this for now.
I can feel his fear.
Wow, that was pathetic.
Are we fully loaded?
I'm always happy when my attacks don't deal as much damage as they could. Let's use the other 0 with more Afterburner to get more defense again. Now they're at least out of ammo.
The enemy won't see us coming.
Things are going to explode.
I'll destroy it.
That was a tremendous explosion.
Okay. Here we go. Because these guys now have to go back, so they can kind of just go for 1 target. I guess it's gonna be the airfield because I don't really need to attack these right now.
Bow to the gifts of the Empire. Is someone observing that area?
As they're flying back, it's fine for them to go and bomb something. Always useful.
Gonna have a tough time. Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
And oh yeah, I need to turn this off.
Bombs away.
9 aircraft gone, but I kind of want to destroy all the aircraft before they do anything. I'm gonna send these guys already back.
Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
And after that, I'm gonna send them out again. I want these guys to go and destroy the air units down here. Meanwhile, I'm also going to investigate this here area to see what's there. Nothing much except 1 destroyer. That's not too bad. Could go after that eventually. And these guys all moved.
What should be destroyed next?
I'm quite close to having to get a lot of them to repair. Oh yeah, these guys only have their anti-aircraft. Okay, never mind. You have enough fuel. I did attack this one, but not the one down here, so it's probably prudent to focus on that.
Bombs away. Just a few moments and we'll be there. Poor souls. In unity is our strength. You can't hide from the blast waves. Just a few moments and we'll be there.
Turn this off.
Poor souls.
The American air unit on Oahu has ceased to be a serious fighting force. In my estimation, we have destroyed more than half its planes.
It's good to hear that one of the most important operations goals has been reached.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think I took down this one.
Explosions look like the rising
No, I
sun.
did not.
Good morning.
I have to be very careful because I did take down this. Gonna take down that one. Then I did take down this airfield. Not yet this one, and not yet this one, but I did this one. So there's just this, and this one that I need to focus on right now.
What should be destroyed
Those are
next?
top priority.
Will there be fighters covering us? Carrying bombs to enemy lines.
Yeah, and this one is just a bit too far for now, but I'll take it down.
You can't hide from the blast waves. Is someone observing that area?
No,
Imperial
nobody's
Air
observing that
Service.
area.
Bow to the gifts of... There better
One
be
more
targets.
hit, and the
A tactical
airplanes
bomber
will
is
be
here.
gone. Reason why I'm doing this is because those air units are going to wreak a lot more havoc if they take off from the ground. Now I'm going to be
Carrying
fine,
bombs to
and then I
enemy
can
lines.
focus upon the other objectives once the main threat has been
Only a few bombs
neutralized.
left. Prepare
That's
to
the
disengage.
idea.
Your orders. Your orders.
Alright, submarine time. Let's go in here. And actually I want to focus upon this here Colorado class. You'll be thinking, why is he gonna do that? But the reason why I want that is this Colorado class battleship is the only one which will be able to return anti-aircraft fire at some point. And yeah, that is really silly. But that's, for some reason, the way this works. It might have been a bug, but this thing is the only thing that will be able to get anti-aircraft fire going, so I can't destroy it with anti-aircraft units. And that's why this game can be a bit silly. It's because certain things work like that, and based on whether you know that already or not, you can have a significant advantage on the enemy.
We are the heart of the Imperial Navy, no matter what the battleships say.
Only a few bombs left. Prepare to disengage.
Oh, wow. Well, that is the problem if you misclick like that, and it's gonna be even worse because now this guy is gonna be able to fire
Only a
upon
few
me.
bombs left.
And okay, luckily not this one, but it's gonna cost me already a lot of prestige simply because I accidentally did that. And you can see here, for example, this already took 17 prestige on the carrier, which means I'm gonna get 17 prestige less. That's great. You know, that kind of really sucks. One of the things that's a big problem with this game is that it's very hard to click on things, and making misclicks is something that you'll very easily do, and so it's just going to be a problem. Either way, I'm going to wrap things up for now. My turn is over, and I'm going to give it back to the enemy afterwards, and then we'll finish this mission in the next episode. Thanks for watching the first one. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye-bye.